Whispers from the Hearth, a weaver's festive secret. In the frost-kissed village of Elderglow, nestled between snow-draped pines and a frozen river that hummed with quiet cracks, the hearth was more than a fire, it was a storyteller. Every winter, as the solstice approached, the villagers gathered in the longhouse, where the great hearth roared, casting shadows that danced like forgotten dreams. Among them was Mira, the weaver, whose tapestries adorned every home, their threads seeming to pulse with secrets no one dared to ask about. Her hands, calloused yet delicate, wove not just wool, but whispers, tales of the village's past, its joys and its buried sorrows. This year, as the longest night loomed, Mira sat at her loom in her stone cottage, the air thick with the scent of cedar and melting wax. Her latest tapestry was unlike any other, a sprawling scene of Elderglow under a sky of swirling emerald and violet, stars falling like snowflakes. The villagers had begun to murmur about it, their voices low, as if the threads might hear. "It's too alive," old Torin had said, his eyes narrowing, "like it knows something we don't." Mira smiled to herself, her fingers threading a strand of silver wool through the warp. She hadn't told anyone the secret of this tapestry, not even Lyra, her apprentice, who was as curious as a fox and twice as bold. The truth was, this wasn't just a tapestry. It was a map, woven from whispers she'd heard in the hearth's crackle since she was a child. Whispers that spoke of the hearth heart, a relic hidden deep beneath Elderglow, said to hold the village's forgotten magic, a magic that could mend broken bonds or unravel them entirely. As the solstice eve arrived, Mira's cottage buzzed with quiet tension. Lyra, her auburn braids swinging, burst through the door, her cheeks flushed from the cold. "Mira, the elders are coming. They say your tapestry's cursed, that it's stirring the winds. The river stopped freezing, and the pines are shedding needles like tears." Mira's hands paused, her eyes meeting Lyra's. "Let them come," she said softly, her voice like the hush of snow. "The hearth will speak for itself." The elders arrived at dusk, their cloaks dusted with frost. Torin led them, his staff tapping the floor like a heartbeat. "Mira," he said, his voice gravelly, "your work unsettles the village. The tapestry must be burned before the longest night, or the old magic will wake and undo us all." Mira stood, her shadow tall against the firelight. "Burn it, and you burn Elderglow's truth. The hearth heart calls, Torin. It's tired of being forgotten." The room stilled. Lyra's eyes widened, but she stayed silent, her hands clutching the edge of Mira's loom. The other elders shifted uneasily, their breaths clouding in the chill. "You speak of myths. The hearth heart's a tale for children, not a relic to chase." "Then let the hearth decide," Mira said, her voice steady but sharp, like a needle's point. She knelt by the fire, her hands hovering over the flames. The logs crackled, and a low hum filled the room. Not a sound, but a feeling, like the earth itself was whispering. The elders froze, their faces pale as the fire flared, casting emerald and violet light across the tapestry. The woven stars seemed to shimmer, and for a moment the room felt vast, as if the cottage had opened to the sky. Lyra gasped, stepping forward. "Mira, what's happening?" Mira's eyes gleamed. "The hearth is showing us the way. Follow the tapestry, Lyra. It's not just a map, it's a promise." That night, under a sky that mirrored the tapestry's swirling hues, Mira and Lyra slipped out of the village, guided by the woven threads. The elders, shaken by the hearth's display, stayed behind, their warnings drowned by the wind. The tapestry led them to the river's edge, where the ice had thawed into a perfect circle, revealing a stone trapdoor etched with symbols no one had seen in generations. Mira lifted the door, her hands trembling not from cold, but from awe. Below, in a chamber lit by veins of glowing crystal, lay the hearth, a sphere of woven light, pulsing like a living flame. It wasn't gold or stone, but something softer, warmer, like the essence of every story ever told by Elderglow's fires. Lyra whispered, "What does it do?" Mira touched the hearth, and memories flooded her, not her own, but the village's. Laughter of children long gone, promises made and broken, winters survived together. She said, "It reminds us. It binds us, but it's fragile. If we take it, we must protect it, or its light will fade." They returned to the village at dawn, the hearth hidden in Mira's satchel. The elders waited, their faces a mix of fear and hope. Torin stepped forward, his staff still. "What did you find?" Mira unveiled the hearth, its glow softening the longhouse's shadows. "Our past," she said, "and our future. But it asks us something. To listen, to remember, to weave our stories together again." That solstice, the villagers gathered not to burn the tapestry, but to add to it. Each brought a thread, red for love, white for peace, gold for hope, and Mira wove them into the fabric, the hearth's light guiding her hands. Lyra sang a song she swore the hearth had taught her, its melody winding through the crowd like a warm breeze. Elderglow was never the same. The river froze again, but its ice sparkled with new colors. The pines stood taller, their needles no longer falling. And Mira's tapestry, now hung above the longhouse hearth, seemed to whisper to anyone who listened, its secrets no longer hidden but shared, a promise kept in every thread.